Warning: this podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
Yo, what's going on? I am Scoots Bronson.
And I am S. Foster.
That's right. You tuned into the Viewers Anonymous podcast where we're giving you our very own reviews and takes of movies and TV straight out of Hollywood. What's going on with you, my guy?
Man, I'm trying to tell you, your boy wore out, man. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long, tough week. You know what I'm saying? Delivering these packages. I don't know if it got anything to do with I'm hearing and I heard that for some odd reason I was speaking to somebody and they said something about California, but I'm pretty sure they are worldwide type of thing. But so there could be a UPS strike on the way. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I don't know if that shit started to affect me because I'm talking about my shit has been picking up a lot as of late. But I heard they, coming up with some demands or some things that they want. So I don't know if that's affected some things or not. But man, I've been getting killed, man. I've been getting killed. And I got one more day to go. But other than that though, man, I'm straight though, man. I'm out here making it in these streets, man. But how you feeling? Everything good with you?
Man, I am sore. Okay. I am hurting right now. I've been to the gym for the last 3-4 days, man, getting back in that mode, trying to drop off some weight, trying to get in shape, get toned up. You know what I'm saying? 35 is on the way. So I'm trying to get to it before it get to me. You know what I mean? Get that you know what I'm saying? Get my health right, man. You know what I'm saying? Before it's too late. So
Yes, sir.
for right now, just you know what I'm saying, hitting that gym before I go to work and you know what I mean, trying to do everything I can. But outside of that, yeah, it's just all soreness. You know what I'm saying? I got a massage gun for Christmas. Last Christmas, I've been using the hell out of it these last couple days. So yeah,
Yo,
buddy.
that is so hilarious
Yeah.
because I had got one for last Christmas, but the person was mad at me and they took it back and they didn't give it to me.
Oh wow. That's a dirty move, bro. Taking back Christmas gifts. What kind of Grinch shit is that?
Yeah, man. So I gotta go get one of those, man. I can use it right now, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, for sure. I feel you, bro. I feel you for real. So, you know what I'm saying? Good to hear that everything going good, at least, you know what I'm saying? I know it's been a rough week, you know what I'm saying? But we still here, still pushing through. And listen, we about to get into one of our favorite topics or subjects, whichever y'all want to call it, um, on the show. For those who are new here, um, this is where we give you extra tidbits of TV and movies outside of the episodes that we do. And for those who have been here, you already know, man, it's called What We Watching. Let's get into it.
Yes, sir.
What we
What we
watching?
watching?
What we watching?
Man, shout out to our guy Casey for that drop, man. That shit's still fire to this day. So,
Yes, sir.
man, what you got this week, bro?
All right. So I've been holding on this one for about 2 weeks. I watched it like two, maybe possibly 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there strolling through my I wasn't even strolling. You know how sometimes like you go on Hulu and it'll show you one.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, brand new movie, never seen it, never heard of it. I watched the trailer. I'm like, all right, what else I got to do? I love taking in new content. And you could tell it was a movie that was, what I'm saying, like independently made, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, cool, let me give it a shot. So the movie I got is a Night Train, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you the description of this movie.
Uh-oh.
So there is this girl. She's a single parent, right? But the way the movie starts is, dude, this is like a modern day Fast and the Furious, my God.
Mhm.
Like but like the first one where they're actually racing. Like everybody out there, they got the hoods up. You got girls in mini skirts and shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody looking at the hood. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
way that it started. That's how Fast and Furious started. Like everybody was at a one location. Everybody showing off their cars.
Right.
So they about to do this race. So this dude pulls up. He never done this before, apparently. So they like, all right. So he pull out his money, put his money up, and then they was like, oh, you facing the night train tonight. So then, dude, a fucking a Silverado truck with the double wheels in the back pulls up. He got like like a Mustang or some shit. So girl come up and she take a bra off. She got a tank top on. She take a bra off and she used her bra to do the whole little, ready, set, go joint. So my dude, he think he got it, and all of a sudden she must have hit some knots or something. This motherfucker done beat the dude in a fucking Silverado Super Duty, right? So it gets into her life to where she is a single mom and her kid has some kind of disease, and but she can't afford like the medicine that he needs. So she goes to this drug dealer guy who gives her son the meds from like Mexico or whatever, right? So she pays him, but like she works at this shop with her dad, and I think that dude is just like a friend or whatever. But she also, they working with this motorcycle, and he wants her to go like keep it from like in between 160 180 miles an hour. But anyway, what ended up happening is the Mexican cartel, they cuts off the supply because the FBI is on their tail or whatever. So they come up with a plan to where they use her to take the drugs from Mexico to this part of California or whatever, right? And she's driving the truck, which she call it the night train. And what she does is she go from it was from somewhere in California to Las Vegas, non-stop, and she would go like 100 miles per hour from Vegas to LA in less than 2 hours or some shit. So anyway, so then it's this fucking FBI agent who's fucking telling her, but the FBI agent, she got her own fucking issues because they don't show you to the end, but like she's like an alcoholic, right? And the reason why she's an alcoholic is because she ended up they sent her on this thing where she ended up killing a kid by accident or some shit like that. So she's just picking up guys at bars, fucking them and getting drunk and just wanting them to stay and talk to her and shit. And it's like FBI. Yes. look, my dude now hit, right? And he trying to leave. And she's like, no, just stay and talk to me and drink with me. And she drunk as fuck. And she laying on the bed. And my dude waited till she passed out. He just snuck out the bed and done jetted. I'm like, what am I watching, dude? It's like this movie is wild as fuck. But the thing is, it's one of those ones where it's just like, okay, wait a minute. Now you telling me you got a Mustang or a Dodge Challenger or a Charger, but you got a fucking souped up Super Duty Silverado, and you dusting these cars. Like,
right.
It's the wildest shit ever. But man, if y'all looking for a movie that's gonna put a smile on your face, you know what I'm saying? Watch Night Train, man. They got it. It's streaming on Hulu right now. And so the other movie I got, it's an older movie. I went back in the archives. I guess because I've been watching The Crowded Room, got Amanda Seyfried in it. I went back to a movie, came out 2009 called Chloe. We got Amanda Seyfried, Liam Neeson, Julianne Moore. We did appreciation on her. And like basically this movie was Amanda Seyfried was a what do you call them? A hostess, whatever you call it. I forget what you call them. What you call them? No. She'll be your lady for the night. What's the name? A what?
Escort.
Escort. God damn, I couldn't think of it. So she's like this escort, right? So Julianne Moore is married to Liam Neeson, and so she got this feeling that Liam Neeson is cheating on her. So she had ran into Amanda Seyfried in the bathroom, and she got this idea because she saw her with this guy, but she could see she was unhappy and all this type shit. So she goes up to her. Julianne Moore goes up to her and was like, "Yo, I think my husband is cheating on me. So I want you to put the moves on him, right?" So she pays her to seduce him. So she's telling Julianne Moore that, yeah, um I saw him at the coffee shop he told me about. He came up, he spoke to me. We went to this place. He fingered me up, all this type shit. All this. So she's going back and forth, telling these stories that he's beating her husband, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So what ended up happening is, so Julianne Moore, she's all fucked up in the head. Next thing you know, these motherfuckers get a hotel room. So now they fucking. So Julianne Moore and fucking Amanda Seyfried, they got this little thing going. So now she now fell in love with Julianne Moore. And so then come to find out, fucking Chloe never even seen her husband. Never talked to him. So she been lying the whole time about this dude making moves on her and all this type shit. Cause she's like, yo, I'm in love with you, blase, blase, all this type shit. So Julianne Moore was like, yo, I'll give you this money, leave me the fuck alone. Well, this is what happens. She runs into her son. So now she fucks her son. Not Julianne Moore, but Amanda Seyfried fucks the son. So now she's
Yeah.
at the house.
She like
So
dude. She like dude from that one dog who stole the daughter. That's crazy.
Hey, it's a wild movie, man. But it came out, man, back in 2009. It's basically like a movie of like obsession, and like she just got obsessed with Julianne Moore, and then like she was just like talking about how she fucked the son because it made her feel close to her and all this type of shit. But like I say, it's an older movie, came out in 2009. I just seen it was on and watched it. So I got this new movie on Hulu called Night Train,
Mhm.
and I watched Chloe on it's streaming on Netflix right now. So those are my two what we watching.
Nice. So for me, man, both of my joints are on Netflix. They're a part of the Unknown documentary series from Netflix. The first one is called Killer Robots. And pretty much it's just a doc showing you about how technology and AI is not only pretty much becoming a part of our mainstream lives, but also becoming a part of every facet of our mainstream lives as well. So, you know what I'm saying? They really just go into um how technology and AI is basically taking over um you know what I'm saying, like, as you know, with military and defense and espionage and all of those different things with government. And they showing how, like, they creating drone tanks. They already got the drone planes. They showing like the regular drones that's dropping bombs. You know what I'm saying? Like, they showing all of these different things, and you know what I'm saying, like, showing you like what's possible. They even showed the dog, the automated dog that they got now, that the you know what
Yep.
I'm saying, that some police forces are using um around America right now, that you know what I'm saying, got the beanbag guns on them. So you know what I'm saying, like, it's a super interesting documentary. If you guys haven't seen it, please make sure you watch this, because there's a lot of information in there that you may want to watch. Um, and it's real deep into like national security and stuff like that. And then the other one is called The Lost Pyramid, where the top Egyptologist in Egypt, of course, um his name, I think his name is Zaha, I think it's Zaha Howis. I think that's how you say his name, or Zahi Howis or something like that. But he pretty much led a team to this site where they thought it was just like an ancient burial site, until they realized that they may have uncovered an extra pyramid next to you know what I'm saying, and in the vicinity of the Great Pyramids. And so, you know what I'm saying, they take you on how they put the team together, how they excavate the areas, how they dig into, you know what I'm saying, the tombs and everything else, how they check the mummies, and you know, they found like a you know what I'm saying, one of the ancient papyruses that was somewhat still intact and could be restored. So super interesting stuff, man. I you know what I'm saying, I took that little time to do some education, but yeah, I was super into it, man. It's one of those things that when you watch it, man, you end up going down a rabbit hole, and I was up all night looking at that shit, man. But it's the Unknown series on Netflix. The first one is Killer Robots, and the second one is The Lost Pyramid. So man, let's get into it, man. We here for a special movie, a classic, if you will. Um, created by Rusty Cundiff, in partnership, and I believe he was a advisor or something on it, but Spike Lee has something to do with this as
The
well.
executive producer.
Executive producer. He has something to do with it as well. And man, this movie has so many um actors and talents in this. We got Clarence Williams the third, David Allen Greer. You got Joe Torre, DeAndre Bonds, Samuel Monroe Jr. You got Tom Wright, Anthony Griffith, Brandon Hammond, Paula Jai Parker, Rusty Cundiff, Roger Gouverneur Smith. Um, who else is in this, man? Rosalind Cash, um, Lamont Bentley, he's been in some things. Brandon Jefferson, he's been in some things. He was the dude with the glasses in the Hose movie. That's where I remember him from. Um, Ricky Harris, you know what I'm saying? Trying to see who else that I know on here. That's about all I know. But for sure, like when I say this is a cast, bro, this is a cast. Um, let me see. The movie came out in 1995. And I believe it was an independent film because Rusty Cumdiff at the time was doing his own films. I think he only had one that was like majorly, like it had a major backing. But this is an anthology type movie similar to that of Tales of the Crypt. So, you know, it has that same concept, but it's black stories, you know what I'm saying, that they're telling instead of, you know what I'm saying, the quote unquote regular horror stories that you usually would see on Tales from the Crypt.
Yep.
So going back and rewatching this, man, what was your thoughts?
Man, this is like you mentioned in the coming soon, man. This is a cult classic. This is just one of those movies that growing up a certain way, growing up in a certain neighborhood, having a certain background. This is a movie that's gonna always. Um, I feel like this is one of those movies where, like, if we're back in, let's say we go back to the cable days, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And you just see it's on. It don't matter what point of the movie you're gonna put it on and continue to, finish this movie out or whatever. It's one of those type movies. And going back, this was one of the movies where it's really fun to go back and watch it because even though I didn't see it not too long ago, it's just one of those things where you watch it, you pick up on something new or something you might have missed the first, 3, 4 times that you watched it.
Mhm.
It's always a pleasure going back and watching this because there are so many moments where it was supposed to be serious, but the shit was funny. Um, I know I like one thing that I picked up this time was my dude that was uh playing Duke, the guy that was trying to be a senator or whatever,
Yeah,
played that shit way too well. I
way
was
too.
like, yo, I was like, if I was in there, if I was like, I'd have been like, look, I'd be like, look, we gonna roll with it, but I'm just gonna let you know, you
Hey man,
playing this shit too good. You know, seems like you're
hey,
having too much fun.
gonna
you know
lie
what I'm
though.
saying, calling people little nigglets. You know what I mean? Like,
Gonna lie. When that lady said something about, she said, what she said, is something about the house too spooky? And that nigga said the only spooks I'm afraid of, and that nigga stopped, bro. I busted out fucking. I ain't never paid attention to that part. I never realized that he said that shit. He caught himself though, like, "Are you spooky reporters?" But I was like, "Yo, this nigga really is about that racist life." That shit was crazy.
yeah, man. But no, it was it's always a joy to go back and watch this because and the way we're gonna do it, we got to treat y'all. We're gonna go from story to story to story, but overall, man, it's just one of those movies that it really passed the test of time. I think what I'm saying, this movie is what, going on 30 years old, and
Yeah,
it's still something, like, even though some of the CGI shit, we'll get into that. Some of the shit is like, okay, maybe I need to get rid of that, but
it's the
overall, man,
that stands to this day though. It's really
yeah,
the
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, exactly, man. You going back and watching it, man? How you felt?
First and foremost, because I am still a child at heart, and I try not to take everything so serious. Um, I, honestly, man, like, this is one of those things where I really couldn't do nothing but just laugh because I know the importance of the movie and I know what, what I'm saying, the messaging in the movie is. But also at the same time, I appreciate the comedic timing of the movie. I appreciate how well the actors did as much as they could in this movie. Because people have to remember, this is in 1995. This is considered a low budget movie.
Oh yeah.
This don't got the big budget, like, what I'm saying, from Paramount or any of that other shit. This is literally like an independent film at this point. And so the fact that he's able to put this together and really have, what I'm saying, the messaging in it, in the topics that he's covering. He's covering, what I'm saying, school bullying. He's covering what I'm saying, abuse
Police
at
brutality,
yeah, police brutality. He's covering racism. Um, he's covering, what I'm
black on
saying.
black crime, if
Well,
that's a thing.
I don't like to use that term, so
I
I
don't need, that's why I did air
yeah,
quotes.
but what I'm saying, like, what I'm saying, destroying your own community, and what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying, covering unity, and what I'm saying, even rehabilitation, second chances, what I'm saying, like that type stuff. Like, he's really covering a multitude of topics in this movie. And not only that, in a small, well, not even in a small way, but in a very subtle way, he's covering religion too. You know what I'm saying? Because what we end up seeing at the end. So it's
Hmm.
like they really did a great job of piecing this together, um and giving us, what I'm saying, something fresh at the time. Because it was a few movies that had, like, of course, in the 90s, it was a few movies that had the messaging in it. But the fact that he was able to take a concept like Tales from the Crypt and then bring it to our perspective and our points of views, and still give us that horror factor, still give us that comedic timing factor, and still be able to put a message in there as well. I mean, I had to show appreciation because, especially being older and realizing everything that's going on, it was just like, man, watching it this second time, I got to shout Rusty Cundiff out, man. He did a hell of a job with this.
He definitely did, man. And then I think every, like, you. That's why I say, man, you great at this. Every story
Hmm.
has a message,
Yeah.
and to start it off with the first one, where you got this black cop, riding with, the black cop is a rookie. He's riding with his one cop. They got somebody pulled over, black man, and he is someone that was called a political agitator,
Well, he was
because
like,
what.
he was like a what do they call him? Um,
See, that's the thing. I can't remember
He
exactly
was
what
a
he
I
was.
don't. Yeah, he was a
He was
politician.
some kind of politician.
He was like a. He wasn't a mayor, but what's your name? What was Chris Rock and head of state before he ran for president? He was
Ooh, I ain't seen he had a state in a while.
I'm about to
Well,
look
he
it up.
wasn't a senator. He wasn't a representative. He was wasn't a mayor. Um, well, why you look that up? So they got him pulled over. He's like, "Yo, why y'all pull me over?" He smashes the dude's tail light. He was like, "Your tail light is out." And the reason they fucking with him is because he says that there are cops selling drugs in the community. So
Mm-hmm.
he is taking down bad cops. And so they roll up on him. There's already two officers. They beating on him and stuff. And so they send the rookie Clarence back to go run the tag. So he's back there running the tag. He don't hear a damn thing. They up here beating the shit out of this dude. He don't hear shit.
Right.
And so
Rick
then,
crazy, by the way.
so then he um he finally see that they beating him up. He gets out the car and they're like, "Yo, we gonna take him to the hospital."
Mm-hmm.
So they don't take him to the hospital. They they pulled one of the moves that we was talking about in Enemy of the State.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They done shot my dude up with some drugs, threw
Mm-hmm.
two drug thing packets in the back of his car, drove it into a fucking river or whatever. So Clarence, he couldn't take it. He quits the fucking force. A year later, he quits the force. Well, he quit the force like that. Like I'm guessing the next day or whatever. But a year goes by, and so he says that Martin Morehouse is speaking to him, telling him to bring the cops, to him or whatever. So he gets the three cops that were there that night. He gets them to take him to the grave. Take him to the grave.
Anniversary of his.
Strong. Say what?
It was the anniversary of when they killed Morehouse.
Yeah. So I'm guessing. I'm guessing it was only a year later.
Yeah.
So Storm, he got the bright idea. I'm gonna piss on his grave. Storm, he played a good racist too.
I'm going. I'm gonna piss. I'm gonna piss on his grave.
This is as good a spot as any. And
Yeah,
so he pissed on his grave. He get the other cop who didn't want to do it. He was scared. So, but
absolutely.
he does it anyway. Martin Morehouse comes out of the grave, grabs him by the dick, pulls him and starts throwing his head into his damn headstone. For some odd reason, Strom thinks it's a great idea to shoot the headstone.
Yeah, that was dumb. Oh boy, stopped him like, what the fuck are you doing? There's nothing there. Yeah.
Yo, yes, he's sitting there shooting it. So he end up Martin end up killing all of the cops and have Clarence end up going into the nut house because he said that. Well, he ended up pinning it on him,
Yeah.
saying and it said he ended up killing three cops. But as far as the first story, what are your thoughts on the first tale that we got?
So the position I was looking up was alderman. So that's what I pretty much think he was. He was something like an alderman, like a low level local, you know what I'm saying, like politician who, you know what I'm saying, like community organizer, that type guy. But I thought it was interesting because of all of the recent, you know what I'm saying, situations that we've been going through with police brutality within these past few years. And the way that everything was done, the one thing that I also realized about each one, excuse me, about each one of these stories, is that there's this hint at accountability and unity amongst each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so in this first one, you know what I'm saying, how you talked about when Martin Morehouse comes back to life and he's killing each one of the cops. And as he's killing the cops, you never see Clarence. we never see Clarence until everything is said and done. And then him and Clarence meet up where he killed the last cop who was Clarence's partner. And he grabs Clarence and he was like, he said, are you satisfied, brother? Clarence say, "Are you satisfied, brother?" And then Martin grab him and say, "Where was you when I needed you, brother?" And then after that, he get excuse me, he get thrown into the crazy house or whatever. And that's why I think, what I'm saying, that they didn't show him, because I really think that because of the guilt that Clarence was going through, I think he
Mhm.
really did kill those cops. But through our POV, or through the POV of him being the spirit of Martin Morehouse. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. Because like even when he went to get Clarence's partner and he lifted him up, like didn't none of the bums look up like, "Oh shit, this motherfucker flying." They was just like, because remember they
Yeah.
couldn't see him. They was like, they were looking around like, "What the fuck is wrong with this motherfucker talking about? I killed him," and they ain't see the dude. So I'm assuming, because at this point Clarence is an alcoholic, and you could tell he was in Bumville with the rest of them. So I mean, he looked like he was just one of the group at this point. So yeah, I think that Clarence definitely did kill him. That's what I had took away from it then. But I think that it was an interesting story only because the a lot of times we see these situations where you got, what I'm saying, like a black cop with a white cop, and then like all of these things happen. And you know, a lot of times you ask yourself, why didn't this cop step in? Or why didn't this cop, I'm saying, do something in the moment? Or why won't they stop this cop from doing this? And this was like a perfect example of, if he did step in, yeah, he might have got killed too, maybe, but that's gonna be some hard explaining to do. You know what I'm saying? Once they say, "Well, where is Clarence at?" You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And he really could have saved Martin's life. He really could have saved Martin's life by just, taking a stand. And which, because he was a rookie and everything, I kind of get it. But at the same time, it's like when you see your people going through that, you gotta bust a move. But I think this was a interesting way to start this movie off. As far as, what I'm saying, the stories that we get into. I thought this was an interesting story because it really sets the tone of what this movie is pretty much going to be about.
Yeah. And I think that, when I was younger watching this movie, I really thought it was Martin Morehouse. You know what I'm saying? But because like I think it confused me when I was young. Like why? I'm like, man, like because like I was thinking the reason they had him in the straight jacket was because he was in there saying like, "Yo, I'm telling you, Mark Morehouse, he's alive, man. He came back and he killed him." You know what I mean? They're like, "Yo, this dude crazy as fuck." But they was
Right,
like, "No, he actually is in there because he killed the three cops."
right.
And I think that he felt real guilty about it. He, drunk himself into a sober. And I think that that guilt of not being the one to step up. And the thing about that blue code of silence, of that blue wall of silence, is like even in a movie like something as small as not small, but something as different as money. So you
Mm,
remember in American Gangster when Russell Crowe he was playing Richie, and the one cop was like, "Yo, we can't turn this type of money in because cops are not gonna trust us anymore."
right.
And like Richie couldn't even get help from other cops anymore because he turned money in. Because they
Yeah,
looked at him like, "We can't trust you.
right.
We ain't talking about killing somebody. We talking about turning money in."
Going against our unwritten code.
Yeah. Of like, and so they looked at you like, "We can't trust you." So with Clarence being a rookie, yeah, like he could have faced a lot of backfire. And I think that I don't know what his money situation was. I don't know what was really going on with him when he was a rookie, but with that time going by, knowing how important a guy like Martin Morehouse was, that guilt ate at him, and he was like, "Yo, like I gotta pay y'all back on the anniversary of this dude's death." But I think it was really dope for us viewers to actually see
Mm-hmm.
Martin Morehouse doing this shit because the shit that we was watching. Clarence would have been able to do that shit. Like, I don't think those cops died that way. First
Well,
of all.
first and foremost, Martin Clarence definitely didn't pull that nigga into a grave, so we know that. Because crazy. Uh,
And he
and
didn't put the one cop into a fucking picture.
exactly, or shoot.
So,
So you know what I'm saying. But I mean, maybe they didn't die like that. Maybe that was just like a personification of how he wanted them to die. You know what I'm saying? Maybe something like that, because this is also an artistic piece as well. This ain't just, you know what I'm saying, like some movie they put together. Like, this is really an artistic piece. So um yeah, this first one was interesting, man. I really, like I said, I really enjoyed it. I really respected the way that they put this together, and excuse me, using this to set the tone of what we're going to see later on down the line.
yeah, it really did. It really did set the tone.
Yeah.
And so then we get the next tale and spot young Walter. You know what I'm saying?
It's
One of the stories where he was being beat
abuse.
by the monster. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
being abused.
And like you said, bullying. So he goes to this new school because I guess his mom move him around or whatever.
Well, she
Um,
met the new dude. That was technically like the new dude.
yeah. And so he goes to school, and very first day, which I don't know why these little kids would do this, but you know what I'm saying? They're bullying him, beat him up,
Yeah.
and then they see that he had a black eye that was kind of old.
Hmm.
So the nurse was like, I'm really worried about that. So the teacher asked him, you know, who did that, and blah, 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 blah. He was like the monster.
Hmm.
So they're like, all right, here we go. You know, kid talking about a monster, you know, this, that. And so all this type of shit. So Walter's at school. He don't want to go to recess. So Walter's in there drawing pictures. He was like, who's this? That's the monster. He's like, okay, you know, here we go with this monster shit again. And then he was like, who's this? This is, I forget what the kid name was. Let's say his name was Calvin. I forgot what the kid name was. So he's
That
like,
that's very unimportant.
yeah. So so when the teacher walks out, the Calvin picture falls on the floor.
Yep.
Walter picks it up,
Hmm.
crush that bitch. Next thing you know, you hear a scream. They said Calvin's walking down the steps, just fell, broke his arms, legs, everything.
Bro, that nigga said, I don't know how you break your I don't know how you break both arms and both legs falling down the stairs. Then he looked at that nigga and said,
They said, Mother
boy,
had
must
weak bones. Oh man.
something, bro. Black people just be funny, bro, for no fucking reason. Why would you say something like that, man? Like, God
Hey,
damn.
no, what would have been all time? I know he wasn't even big then, but if goddamn little Daryl popped out and said, need some milk.
Bro, that nigga turned into Mr. Glass on their ass, boy. Bro,
Hey, yeah.
crazy.
So, but then we see Walter's home life, and then it's like for some odd reason, my dude, and that's another thing. You know what I'm saying? We can get into that, but this
Mhm.
dude is really beating Walter for no fucking reason. Like my dude is in the bed, like sleep, and he just get off from work and then just go in there and just beat Walter for no reason.
Get out that nigga.
Yeah, like for no reason. So he goes in one day, he's turning in something.
Oh my
Teacher
God.
see this big ass bruise on his arm.
Yeah.
So he's like, yo, I gotta come. He's back. So he's like, man, no, I gotta go to your house. So he goes to the house, and you know what I'm saying? Mom Dukes comes to the door. I don't know why she comes to the door, soaking wet with a robe on. So
Hey
she's
man,
like, let me go put.
wait a minute though. We gotta give some love to Paula John Parker, man.
Oh yeah,
She always been the fine thought mama, bro. If she ain't the fine thought mama, she the fine thought girlfriend. But she always played her parts and she played them well. Shout out to
oh
Paula
yeah,
Parker, fine self.
oh for sure.
Hmm.
So she let him in, and Richard tell her the teacher's like, yo, Walter, I'm really concerned about these bruises that he got. He said that the monster's doing it. So
Right.
she called Walter down there. Walter, why you running off with these monster stories, blah, 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 all this type of shit?
So the nigga get his narrow tail down.
Yeah. So then she told him to take his ass to his room. Because she heard, a horn.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know why you pull up at home and you blow the horn, but hey, whatever.
Just he let me know, get prepared.
Yeah. Y'all, get prepared. I'm here.
For sure.
So fucking David Allen Greer.
Oh my God, bro.
This dude comes in and he's the monster. So he comes in. So he talks to the teacher, and the teacher's like, Walter's coming to school with his bruises. And he's saying that the monster did it, and he showed him the picture. Should have never showed him the picture.
Right.
So he was like, we gonna talk to him. He's like, that's it? I said we gonna talk to him. And then he all right then. So he goes get in the car. Man, he whooped Sissy's ass. Yo, he hit him with the one joint where you hit a motherfucker with the palm of your hand. You know what I'm saying? Yo,
nigga doing karate on the motherfuckers, bro. That nigga was doing the palm of death on the motherfuckers, bro.
Hey, that's not funny, man.
It is, bro. Cause look, as a kid, when you see it, bro, you think he punching him, but when you go back and watch it, like he literally hitting her like that, bro. That shit, he hit Walter like that too. That shit is fucking comedy, bro. Only thing,
stupid,
bro. Every time, bro, if he did that, bro, perfection. That shit was funny as fuck. Now wait a minute, time out, because we have to do this for clarification. Domestic violence is not funny. It's the way he was punching that's funny. Because why are you punching anybody with the palm? Why are you doing that? That shit is not effective.
Yes. Well, no. If you do the whole little joint where you see, first of all, that shit can be really dangerous. Because if you do it right and you hit somebody in the nose, you can get that nose bone and hit them in the brain and you're done.
But he was hitting motherfuckers like that in the mouth. He was hitting in the mouth. Come on, man.
Okay, now, like you said, we are not promoting fucking any kind of domestic violence or child abuse. Right. So he gets Walter. He was like, "Oh, so this is what you think of me? You drawing me pictures like I look like a monster and blase." So he's whooping Walter ass. Yes. And the teacher sees it. He runs back in the house. Man, listen. Usually, when there's a dude that beat women and that beat kids for no reason, they're usually some punk ass dudes majority of the time who don't want to fight another man, a grown ass man.
Yeah.
Nah,
not
the monster.
Yeah.
He whooping Richard ass in there.
Get out this nigga. He mud stumped that nigga, bro.
Hey, he stomped him in the face and everything. So Walter's trying to hide under the table, and then my man jacked up the table, and then the picture falls. But Mom Dukes, she ran up on him, and then while she had picked up a fucking frying pan. I'm talking about the hard frying pan.
That's iron.
Hey, man, Monster caught that shit, and yeah, she was not effective at all. So he grabs it, and now he's about to hit her with the frying pan, and Walter fold that arm down, and that motherfucking arm went backwards. That shit was crazy, boy. And Walter got to turning that bitch. And he's twisting and twisting and twisting. And what did he say when he was sitting there twisted up, my guy?
That nigga said, "This ain't over, bitch."
And then Richard picks up the picture. He picks up the picture, turns on the fucking eye for the damn stove, and says, "Walter, you know what to do." Now the teacher don't want to be the one to set his ass on fire. He would tell Walter to do it.
This was my question throughout this whole thing. Now that the teacher knows that Walter has this magic fucking power to draw people and kill them, did nobody say shit about him hurting the little boy? Like,
I know, right?
Over that? This nigga
Man.
sent the kid down the stairs with all broken bones. Nobody just we ain't even gonna acknowledge that.
Nah, we ain't gonna acknowledge that. We're gonna be like, look, that's one that we're gonna let you roll with that one. While you've been taking the beating, so we're gonna let you ride.
Yeah, man, but nah, bro, you can't do all that, man. If you got magic powers, you just gotta shoot the fair one with him again, bro. That's all it was. He got jumped the first time. Shoot the fair, make him shoot the fair one with the little nigga. Don't crumble the little nigga up and make him fall down the stairs. That's fucked up. That nigga came out on a stretcher, bro. Like, God, that's
Oh man. So so that story's over. And what's my dude name in that? So Stack, he fucking scared of everything.
yeah.
So Mr. Sims, now he did something. Closed the book in the.
Yeah. He said
He was scared as fuck. And so
bro, Bulldog is a punk, bro.
Bulldog is the biggest punk in this whole joint, man. Ball was the only one that was hard.
Absolutely.
So it knocked that so after he told the story about Walter, he knocked down this fucking dog. And so he's like, he was like, no, he was like, oh, first of all, Bulldog's like, yo, I'm sick of these stories, man. Where's the shit? So he was like, oh, the shit. He was like, no, but you really gonna want to hear this one. So he about to tell him the story about the dog. And so then we go to this congressman, you know what I'm saying, motherfucking Duke.
Oh man.
Was it Mick Geiger, whatever the fuck his name is, yo.
Duke Metger.
Duke Metger.
The
racist dude that's staying in the plantation house where everybody knows he's racist and he was used to be a part of the KKK, but this dude still got elected somehow. Yeah. And so he got Rhodey, who is a black man, that he's paying $10,000 a week to get him black votes. So they in this house, but there's this one guy. What was that?
Old man.
Is it Eli? Yes, Eli.
Yeah.
So Eli, he's always the head of the damn protest. Well, he was like, you know what I'm saying? The dogs are gonna kill your ass. You need to get out of that house. And so,
Come on. We gotta talk about this scene. First off, the reporter is out there talking to the protesters, and then she's talking to one of the representatives of the protesters. So you know what I'm saying? She's talking to the representative. He like, we're gonna do everything we can to get him out of office, and we're gonna make sure that he doesn't win. And then she started asking about the house, and he was like, "Yeah, that's an old myth." This nigga comes out of nowhere. It's not a myth. They don't want him in that house. They don't want him in that house. He just keeps saying it. They don't want him in that house. She's like, who don't want him in the house? The dogs. The souls. The souls are going to get him. He's going to learn. You don't have to do nothing. There's nothing we can do. The souls will get him. They don't want him in the house. They don't want him in the house. This nigga turns to the house. Now, mind you, this yard is big than a motherfucker. This is the old plantation house. He's at the fence. Fucking Duke Metger is at the window. He points to the window and says, "They don't want you in that house." And then you just see Duke Metger go, "Get out of here, old man." That's how I'm like, what? How the fuck did he see this nigga from that far away? That shit was amazing, bro.
That shit was hilarious. So Rhodey's in there trying to get it. Well, now Duke was like telling him, "Yo, I searched every square inch of this house. I ain't never find any of the dogs." And there was one picture up there, which he kept in there for. I don't remember why he kept it in there, but it turned out to be a huge mistake. So anyway, Rhodey is trying to interview him, prep him for later interviews that he's gonna get. So he is like. Duke is doing it. He's like, "Nah, man. You look smug. Let me show you how to do it." So he's like, he gave him the camera. He's like, "Do it like this." So he's asking him the question, and so all of a sudden, Rhodey gets near a step. He trips and falls down the
Yep.
step, busts his head. Now Rhodey's dead.
Yeah.
But while he was filming that, he ended up getting a snapshot of the doll on the damn ground, but he didn't see it at the time.
Mm-hmm. Of
So go to the funeral. Old man popped up at the funeral.
course.
but before the old man came out, you mentioned it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
What did my man say to the reporters when they was questioning my man walking back to the car?
I'm sorry. This is my favorite part of the skit, and I know it's not funny, but it's funny to me. As a black man, I should definitely be able to laugh at this. So this nigga is talking to the reporters. Mind you, we talking about Duke Medgar, the racist, the ex-Klan member, all that shit. This nigga talking to the reporters. So then she says, "Is there anything in that house that spooks you?" And that nigga said, "The only spooks I'm afraid of." And paused because he remembered. Can't say this because it's a black reporter. He said, "Are you spooky reporter?" So I said, "Yo, this nigga is wilding." That's the
Yo,
crazy shit to say, bro.
man, listen. My dude played this part way too well.
Way too well.
Man, because when he got back to the house,
Mm-hmm.
because when he was riding, he see the dog on the floor.
Yep.
He's like,
In the car.
"Stop the damn car! Stop the
Yep.
car! Who did you let in here?" My man was like, "Yo, I ain't let nobody in here."
Right.
So he throw the dog out the window, kept it pushing. He gets to the house. Notice that it's a white spot where that dog was in the picture.
Yep.
White, now, like it's painted out. So the dog shows up at the house. He knocks on the door. Duke goes outside. My dog gets in the house. So Duke finally has his encounter with the dog. Gets his hands on him. So he puts the dog up on one of the dartboards. He got a double pump shotgun.
Told him
And my
to
dude says, "I'm gonna blow your dog nigga balls off."
Hey man, let me tell you something, bro. There was enough racism in that one skit the whole year of '95. I promise you. I promise you.
Dude, none of that shit was necessary at all.
Oh, bro. At all, bro.
So then he shoots the dog, goes back in the house, then looks at the picture again. There's more white spots.
Now,
So
mind you,
now,
it's about a good maybe 30, 40 dolls sitting in this picture with this old woman.
yes,
And he kept
it's
calling, this is the thing I didn't like. He kept calling her the voodoo bitch. I didn't like that.
yeah.
You
Called
don't,
her the voodoo bitch and called the dolls little nigglets.
yeah, that part, I'm not with that either. But don't play around with voodoo, bro. That shit is for real. You don't play around with that.
Oh, definitely. I don't mess with that shit at all.
Mm-mm.
So then, so the dog that he had shot, he came back. And so then he looks at the picture. Now all the dolls are fucking white spots. Then the old lady turns into a white spot, and then she shows up, and then all the dogs go and they eat his motherfucking ass.
Man.
So all I'm gonna say, I'm gonna throw this at you, but
Okay.
you're completely right. I don't fuck with either voodoo
Oh,
or what I learned in the movie Skeleton Key,
hoodoo.
hoodoo.
Neither one
I
of them.
don't fuck with none of them motherfuckers.
Sir, not at all. Not at all. And I tell you why. Because I got grandparents and family members from the South. And let me tell you something. All that shit where a lot of the shit that they teach you growing up is old hoodoo and voodoo shit. So like when they tell you, remember when they used to tell girls don't put your purse on the floor or you go broke?
Mm-hmm.
That's where that come from. Remember when they used to tell you don't sweep nobody feet? That's where that shit come from. You know what I'm saying? The don't step on the crack, you break your mama back. That's where that shit comes from. So it's like all of the little shit that we would learn growing up and hearing, you would think that it's just some goofy shit that your parents would say. But in all actuality, like this shit stems from you know what I'm saying, hoodoo and voodoo rituals and you know what I'm saying, practices from African or you know what I'm saying, black culture. But yeah, that shit is yeah, that's nothing to play with for sure. He should have knew better when he called her the voodoo bitch. You don't do that.
Oh yeah, definitely. So so my man ended up getting ate by all these dogs.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, he pretty much got what he deserved.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
then they're walking through. You know what I'm saying? They still trying to get to the shit. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Ball looking there.
Oh,
Yo,
hold on, I'm
y'all
sorry.
ain't gonna believe this shit.
Gotta cut you off again. Gotta cut you off again.
Uh,
Get to this one. First off, the story that he told them to get them there for the drugs. I found these drugs by an old train track, just outside, just sitting there. Man, what? And you called us? How do you know us, brother? How the fuck you know us? To call us to tell us you got some random drugs you found.
and
Man,
then says it is so much that I couldn't carry myself. Well, who the fuck helped you?
because ain't nobody else there but him.
You're the only person there.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. But go ahead though.
So he was like, yo, y'all ain't gonna believe this shit. And so then he was like, oh, yeah, Crazy K.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I'm gonna tell y'all something. So there's some people out there who's listening to this podcast. Maybe you heard of them, maybe you haven't.
Right.
But there was a group called Spice One. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Born to Die was probably one of the first scariest songs I've ever heard in my life.
Shout out to MC8, by the way.
Yo, that song used to scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, after this,
But yeah. So he's telling the story, Crazy K. Crazy K sees this car. Oh, there's this dude I've been looking for. You know what I'm saying? He hit the U-turn, pull up on dude, shopping. Yo, you want to talk about the funniest death you've ever seen in the movie?
his jump.
First of all,
his
he jumped before the bullet even got there.
time, bro. Every time. And remember, like so after he shoot him, he realized where he at. Then he start running. So 3 dudes pop up out the house and they chase him down. They shoot him before he could get away. So he on the ground bleeding. And the 3 dudes hover over him. You know what I'm saying? They talking about what they gonna do. One dude say, you know what I'm saying? Fuck all that. Let's smoke this fool. And the other dude like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Chill. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get this nigga what he looking for. And before they could do anything, the police pull up. Now you know the scene where there's that one black police officer between the door and he's shooting. Okay, so he's pulling the trigger. It's one time where he pulls the trigger and nothing comes out. Hey, bro, I seen that shit. I was like, oh yeah, this is an independent movie to the full. This would have been the greatest Tubi movie ever made, bro. I promise you. Rusty Cundiff needs to come back for Tubi, bro.
Hey, no, when he shot Bulldog, oh well, we don't know at the time it's Bulldog, even though they show us his fucking face.
Yeah,
but
horrible.
His fucking neck, his head goes in between.
Literally.
A white picket fence.
Come on,
man. So Crazy K is laying there, saved by the fucking cops.
Right.
So Crazy K goes to jail. He's in there working out. This dude got to be 5'6",
maybe
$115, soaking wet, with boots on.
Right.
He's in there working out. This lady comes up to him, and she's like, "Yo, how would you like to get an early release?" And he was like, "How the hell are you gonna do that?" Well, there's this new program, you know, you could do it, and maybe you could get out early. He was like, "Cool, I'm down." So they take him to this place. Look like House on the Haunted Hill. He goes in there, and the very first thing he sees is white bodies in a bag going across the room. I would have said right then and there, I'm good. Right, you can take me back to prison right now. Like,
leave.
So he goes in, They put him in this fucking cell. You can't even stand up in. They put him beside this guy. And this is very, very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Because this part, when you're a kid,
You don't understand it.
you don't get it. But when you older and you're a grown up,
Mm-hmm.
this shit hits hard. It hits you different.
Shit.
So they put him in a cell beside this guy. He's sitting there. He got Hitler tattoos. He got the swastika on him. He
Mm-hmm.
got nigger killer on his arm. All of this type shit. So he tells him to come closer. He comes closer. So he's showing him all his tattoos, talking about how there's a new war where they're gonna kill all the black people, but they're gonna save, you know what I'm saying, a few that they
Mm-hmm.
can be a part of their army. And so he's like, man, fuck you and fuck this shit. Punch my dude in the face.
Mm-hmm.
So my dude says one of the wildest lines in the movie. He said, hey, nigga, those people you killed, what color were they? And
Mm-hmm.
then it hit him. He was like, oh, shit. And then he says, you all right with me, nigga? You
No,
know what
but
I'm saying?
did you hear what he said when he first got in the cage?
What was that?
When he first got in the cage, he told him, he said, another soldier for my army.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
And
he
the
already
whole, yeah, and that's the whole point. And I think what my dude was, I think the message with this whole thing was the fact of there are a lot of black people killing other black people.
mm-hmm.
And what he was trying to say and the point that he was trying to make to him, what I think the point that he was trying to make in the movie was, why are we mad at this guy who got these tattoos and saying the N word and all this type shit
Mm-hmm.
when we just sat here and watched Crazy K just run up on a dude and just kill him and just basically Crazy K just out here just really just killing black people, he killing people in the hood. But like you said earlier,
I do you one
before I
better.
get
Go
what's
ahead.
up?
Go ahead, finish, but I
Oh,
do you one better
so all I was gonna say was that it's not a such thing as black on black crime. What I was saying, what I was trying to get to was you kill people close proximity in
though.
your neighborhood. That's
Absolutely.
all it really is. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? You're not if you're already poor, you're not going. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got the money and the resources to go to, you know what I'm saying, a rich neighborhood and kill somebody in a rich neighborhood. You kill people that are closest to you.
Right.
So the whole message of this whole thing was, you know what I'm saying? Take a look in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? The whole point of this is not to be mad at the white guy, is to put more attention on Crazy K and what we need to do as black people in our community is,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, we need to look out for each other, blase, blase, all that type shit. But
Absolutely.
continue.
And like I said, I thought that was a very interesting concept that they kept putting into all of these, because if you notice, in the first one was the accountability of the black cop with helping, somebody that he seen. The second one was the teacher. He seen a young child in trouble, so he decided to help. The third was Rhodey. I think Rhodey was the one in that one where he's out here helping this racist who doesn't give a fuck about the black people or nothing, trying to get their vote, and then he ends up dying. And then in this one, it was about the accountability of Crazy K, the fact that you had a you have a chance to rehabilitate, you got a chance to get out here and live a different life and actually give back to your community instead of destroying your community. But instead, I'm saying, you didn't take that route. But this is where I was going to say I got one better for you. I don't think that the neo-Nazi dude was real. I think he was supposed to be the embodiment of white supremacy.
Mhm.
And the reason I'm saying that is because, remember, in this whole rehabilitation process, none of this stuff was technically real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? None of this shit was real. So when he actually start talking to the neo-Nazi dude, and when he was, what I'm saying, like you brought up, when he said, how many people you killed, he was like, and what color were they? It was like, yo, this is a reflection of, yeah, I'm telling you, you joining my army because you doing the work for me. I don't have to do the work because you're doing the work for me. And so
Mhm.
that's why he called him, what I'm saying, the next soldier in his army. And then in that whole conversation, if you notice, like, even when he was like, yo, I got these tattoos or whatever. Come here and look at him. And he, you know what I'm saying, he cowered down like, man, I ain't going on. He was like, what, you afraid? And then he, you know what I'm saying, kind of went over there and looked. But you know what I'm saying, I just thought that was interesting that, you know what I'm saying, they put that in there. To me, I didn't look at it like he was a real person. I feel like he was supposed to be like the embodiment of, you know what I'm saying, what white supremacy was at that time.
Yeah. Because all of this shit was a self-conscious type of thing because once we found out, Crazy K was never well anyway,
Right.
so she puts him on that damn machine
Oh my goodness.
that
And
it
then
put it on.
images.
And why you got this fine ass woman being like the nurse lady that put you on the thing? Like that was just unnecessary. It was necessary for us viewers, but it was just unnecessary.
Yeah.
But so they put him on this thing. They squirt this thing up his nose, and they put this green liquid into his mouth, all this type of shit. And they play him, and that's why I say, man, they play that Spice One song,
Mm-hmm.
and so he's spinning, and they're showing him all of these images, and it's
Mm-hmm.
all these old images. You can Google all this shit. Like all those images are real. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? These are pictures. I've seen a lot of those pictures just I'm
absolutely.
saying on the internet and shit.
Yeah.
So it's all these pictures of black people being killed by a lot of racist white people back in the day, hung and being burnt and all that type of shit. But it's also showing, what I'm saying, black people and probably like gang members or stuff like that where they're like shooting each other.
And
And so the whole
it's showing black people influence in there too, though.
yeah.
Yeah,
So what she's trying to do is show Crazy K like you are a part of that dude's army that he's talking about.
absolutely,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
Doing the
And
work.
you could change, and you could change your ways and you could save your life.
Right.
So they're showing you all these images. So then they put him down in this hole. And so she's like, everything that you see down here is not real. It's in your subconscious, all this type of shit.
Mhm.
So it shows this one dude that he shot. And he was like, yo, I had to shoot you because you was always coming up short. And then
Mhm.
these other dudes was like, yo, that was wrong what you did, man. You just showed up, blasting. We wasn't even the ones who shot your dude. Shout out one of those dudes, Stacy from
Mhm.
Minister Society. But anyway, so he was like, man, that shit was wrong, man. And then this little girl comes up. And she was like, yo, I was just playing in my room and a bullet came through the wall. And he was like, a bullet ain't got no name on it.
Right.
And it was like the little girl almost got him.
Until the
And
lady said,
yep. And he reverted back to Crazy K. Like, get me out of here. Because I won't give a fuck. I won't give a fuck. I won't give a fuck. I won't give a fuck.
this was that was wild, but this was the craziest part though. When she was like, yo, you can get out of here whenever you want. Like, I told you ain't nothing in this shit real. And he grabbed old girl by the neck, like I snapped this bitch neck. And then he doing all that, like you said, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And then everybody disappeared, and then he just sitting there. I don't give a
And,
fuck. I don't get, and I'm like, yo, it's so crazy that it's really that to me. I looked at it like that was a way of showing what his mentality was. And
yep.
it's so many people with that mentality of I gotta be this way. Cause if I don't be this way, then I'm gonna be food out here. When in
Yep.
all actuality, you really don't gotta be that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we can all change up, we can all come together, and we can all eat, and none of us gotta be food. We can all get food instead of, you know what I'm saying? But to see that when everything goes away and he just sitting there like that and he going through that, it's just like, yo, he really cannot escape that mentality. And that was sad to see, man.
Yep. And then when he was sitting there screaming, I don't give a fuck, in all
Mm-hmm.
actuality, he was laying on the ground
Yep.
and three dudes were standing over him. He was telling them that he don't give a fuck.
Right.
And I'm guessing what the message of the movie was if he would have took another route and not saying don't give a fuck, maybe the cops really would have saved him.
Right.
But because he was saying he didn't give a fuck, they blasted him.
Exactly.
And so then, now let's get to the shits.
Yes.
That's when Bulldog is like, yo, that last story, that shit wasn't funny.
Mhm.
Cause we the ones who killed them.
Obviously. After they killed him twice.
Hey, so then they showed that they actually the ones who killed him. And then he was like, yo, Like, you gonna take me to the shit? Oh yes, the shit. Hey, when he hit him on side of the head.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, I'm weak.
Bro,
Hey,
bird,
yeah,
man.
yo, he hit him with the least amount of athletic ability you have ever seen in your life.
Every time that nigga yelled, that nigga every time, bro. Every time.
Yo, so he hit him upside the head. He was like, "Take us to the shit." The motherfucker said, "Woo!" And yo, I'm gonna tell you, out of all of that shit, this is what would have turned me around.
Yeah.
When he went downstairs and he pointed at that light, that motherfucker came on. Nah, bro.
It's over with.
It's over with.
In
Yo,
95.
yo,
Come on, bro. We out
yo,
here.
yes, we're not talking about 2023 people.
No.
You can say Alexa turn the lights on. That shit turned on. Even before then, we had the clapper.
I say, yeah, I'm gonna say the clapper, he ain't even clap. He just
He didn't even clap. He just pointed and the light came on. Nah, bro, I'm out. I'm not going down there.
spotlight at that.
So they go down there. He points at the light. He was like, "Here it is in the coffin. Where else would I hide it?" And that motherfucker, everybody go to a coffin, and then Ball say, "About fucking time." And then it was like he opened it up. Yo,
See yourself.
yo, Joe Torre is so fucking funny, dude. Joe Torre said, "Boy, no, what we gonna do?"
Hey man.
Hey, hey, this motherfucker eye turn red. The guns turn red.
Bruh.
They drop them.
That part was crazy because what was the reason for turning the guns red, man? You ain't need to do that. Let them have the guns. That shit didn't make a difference. That nigga said, man, what he say? He said, bro, what kind of funeral home is this? He said, ain't no funeral home. He said, it ain't the Terror Dome neither. He said, welcome to hell.
Motherfuckers. And then the worst scene in the fucking movie.
Worst.
A fucking snake tongue come in between the gap in his mouth. Yo, that shit is terrible.
Absolutely.
That shit looked like Who Framed Roger Rabbit popped out of somewhere. Like, that shit was crazy.
That's the same thing I thought too, bro. But we got to get him credit though, bro, because the transformation,
Yes,
the third into the devil, I thought that was the best transformation I've seen in a movie like in that era. That was dope. Excuse me.
that was dope. But yo, these motherfuckers acting like they burning. And how they was shaking at the bottom of the
Did you see the walls? Did you see the walls collapse?
The walls collapsed.
Trash, bro.
Worst green screen you ever seen.
That shit like pick art, bro. That shit was horrible.
That shit was terrible.
Yeah.
But back then, the shit was hard. It was scary.
And that's why I told you before we started. I said, bro, I realized how trash TVs were back in the day. Because watching the movies from the 80s and the 90s on the new TVs that we have now, oh my God. When I watched Nightmare on Elm Street with the Dream Warriors and I seen that nigga scream,
Hey, well, you bring that up every time.
it's just so obvious now, bro. Like when I watched that shit as a kid, bro, that shit, you couldn't see none of that shit. But now because everything is so high definition, bro, you can see all of that shit. They don't miss a fucking beat, bro. I'm like, how the fuck did we miss this shit as a kid? Like this shit looked so much scarier on a fat back TV on the floor, bro. This did now, no, man. You show somebody this, you'll be like, nigga, who put this shit together? Who put this shit together on what's that shit called? PowerPoint. Who put this together on PowerPoint? Because that's what it looked like at the end.
Yeah,
But
that is hilarious.
man, listen, man. Shout out to Rusty Cundiff because, like I said, the movie when you rewatch it, it still holds true to this day. Unfortunately, there's a lot of messaging that unfortunately has aged very well, and that's not a good thing. But it's still a good movie. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a bad movie at all. There's nothing wrong with the movie. It's just the fact that it's some shit in there where you like, oh yeah, this shit was made in 1995 for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. But I mean, like I say, man, it's still dope. But we'll get that when we get to the Fire Flames. But yeah, man, this is it's definitely the thing about the Tales from the Crypt.
Mm-hmm.
To me, the intros is always like that was like the shit.
Yeah, the intro was the best part of it all.
And my question to you, real quick, before we get into the Fire Flames, was the lead up to the stories and at the end of the stories when they go back.
Mm-hmm.
Which ones you think had like the biggest impact?
Okay, so first and foremost, the intro to Tales from the Crypt is iconic. Like you knew when that shit came on, you stayed up way too late, and if you was a scary motherfucker boy, you was gonna piss yourself. But in between stories and the transition between them, I thought with Tales from the Hood it was better, only because on Tales from the Crypt it's just him in there telling you about what's supposedly happening next. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Tales from the Hood, he's actually speaking to three other people. And so he like you, of course, he don't even acknowledge the, you know what I'm saying, the camera. He never breaks the fourth wall. And Tales from the Crypt, that's all he does is break the fourth wall.
yeah,
So yeah, definitely Tales from the Hood. The in between the stories and like from beginning to end, definitely. But because it really wasn't the intro with Tales from the Hood. Um,
yeah.
but definitely Tales from the Crypt intro is that's an iconic intro. For
That it was. That it was.
sure. All right, man. You ready to do the Fire Flames?
Let's do it.
Let's get into it, man.
Yoga fire. Yoga flame.
All right, man. So what are you giving this thing?
All right, man. Even though we killing the graphics and all of that type shit, man. I mean, it was 1995, and I just didn't think that we had the technology of knowing that these TVs were going to get as advanced as the TVs are today. But if we're talking about a movie that had, what I'm saying, like the huge fucking impact, this is one of those movies. And the tales, they all had messages in them, and I've always fucked with it, man. So to be honest with you, man, I'm gonna give it a 4. I was thinking about giving it a 4.5, but I'm gonna go with a 4. Um, we all know we ran down the list earlier. Like there are a bunch of noticeable peoples in here.
Yeah.
A lot of people turned out to have great careers. I just thought it was funny to see, a person like David Allen Greer, who's known as this comedian at this time, fresh off of fucking um Living Color, and now he's this monster beating women and beating kids.
Boomerang too.
Which one?
Boomerang.
Yeah, Boomerang came out 94, 95. That's right. So
everything that he played in, he was always like the super nice guy or like the quirky funny guy. He wasn't never like a angry dude. And the crazy part is though, excuse me. The crazy part is with him and his background. He has a true acting background. And so like him playing this, especially like going back to watching it now, he really does a great job at playing this role.
Oh yeah,
with us never seeing him in something like that before. He really did a great job.
Yeah, and Brandon Hamlin. Is it Hamlin? I think it's Hamlin.
Hammond.
He's in every just about hood classic that you
Yeah,
could think of.
he
You know
is
what
the
I mean?
black kid in every movie.
Yeah, he was the black kid in every movie back then.
Yeah.
And you know, I guess it just didn't really work out for him that much as an adult.
I mean, he grew
But
up.
I mean,
Grew up.
I mean, yeah, but you know, there are some people who were child stars and they, you know, what I'm saying, they blew up to be big, and I always thought he did a great job. You know what I mean? But but yeah, man, I'm gonna give it a 4, man. I almost gave it a 4.5, but I'm gonna stick with my 4.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So for the same points that you mentioned, man, but what I will say is for this to be um for this to be a movie in 1995 and for the messaging that it gave off. You know what I'm saying? We had um higher learning and do the right thing and all these other things, but for this to be an independent movie to give off the messaging that it was giving off, and then not only that, to also get the help from Spike Lee, this lets you know just how impactful they expected this movie to be. Now, was it as impactful? Maybe not, but the fact that they put this type of energy into this was a great movie for it to be an independent film.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine that the budget wasn't that high for it, and I can imagine that they probably either just made the budget or they probably didn't make the budget. But either way, like this film is amazing. And did you know that there's also a 2 and a 3 to this?
Oh, the 2 is terrible. I seen it.
Is that the one with Keith David?
Yes, Keith David is in it.
Yeah, that was
Um,
trash.
so I get you real quick. So the budget was $6 million
Right.
estimated. Opening week, it made 3.8,
Hmm.
and it grossed worldwide 11.8.
Yeah, so it literally just made the budget. It almost doubled, but it just made the budget. And in
Yeah.
Hollywood, that's not really a good thing. But for an independent film, come on, bro. You gotta give kudos to this. Because that's amazing. That is amazing. That's a great that's a great move for Rusty Cundiff, who at the time was doing a great job with making movies with all black cast. Because he was also in the movie with I think it was I know it was oh my god, what's the chick that played Gina? Why can't I remember her name? I'm about to say
Tisha
Gina Ortega.
Campbell.
Thank you, Tisha Campbell. He was in the movie with Tisha Campbell and I think it was Tommy Davidson, if I'm not tripping. Let me see.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh my god, what is
Uh,
that? Sprung. No, it wasn't.
Sprung. Yes,
Was it
Sprung.
Sprung?
Yeah.
Let me double check because that movie right there was the one that kind of really like got him to where he was supposed to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, it was Sprung.
Paula J. Parker, she was in that too. Joe Torre was in there.
Story. That's what it was.
John Witherspoon was in there.
So like
Clarence Williams, he was in that. He was in there too.
So that's what I'm saying. Like he was really doing his job of giving black actors some work in that time. So you gotta show love to Rusty Cundiff, man. He did a great job. And for him to also star in the movie as well, you know what I'm saying, and direct it too was you know what I'm saying, that was dope, man. That was real dope. So shout out to Rusty Cundiff, man. But I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you, man. I gotta give it a 4 too.
What's up?
Yeah. So now that we done with that, man, let's get into the coming soon.
Let's do it.
Coming soon to own on video and DVD.
Sorry that took so long. But this one is that we got coming up next is a documentary. It's called The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. And it's a very interesting documentary. This is about a young girl who comes over from another country, and I guess they posed her as like a kid or some shit like that. when in all actuality, like she was way older than what she was supposed to be. Or I might have it flipped around. I think they posed her older than what she was supposed to be, and she was a young kid at the time when she came over. But it's like a whole bunch of shifty shit in there. Like they go to interview her parents and shit. Her parents is, you know what I'm saying, kind of like, hey man, what the fuck is going on? We don't really know what's going on. And they giving off information that really ain't true and shit like that. Like this is a wild ass documentary. When you see this shit, you're gonna be like, man, what the fuck? Like immigration is wild.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to see this yet. So this would be my first time watching it. So but the way you describe it is
Yeah.
shit sound mad crazy.
It's definitely gonna be mad crazy, man. So if y'all get a chance, y'all go check this out. Y'all go watch this. It's a very interesting doc. I got halfway through it, so I gotta finish watching it. But when I tell you though, yeah, this is one of the ones you're gonna be like, okay. Like, and I heard like this, like the doc don't even give you the rest of the information. Like this shit is still ongoing. So make sure y'all check that out, man. We definitely coming back to y'all with the next episode. If you enjoyed Tales of the Hood, if you have a favorite story from Tales of the Hood, or you know what I'm saying, if you just enjoyed Clarence Williams like we did in Tales of the Hood, Tales from the Hood, let us know. Hit us up on our socials, Instagram and Twitter at View and Nine Pod. You can also hit us up on Facebook, VA Pod Watch Group. On Twitter, you can also join our community where we talk about movies and TV all the time. And if you follow the podcast, make sure you also subscribe. It's only $2.99 a month. You get extra episodes. We got them coming. Get ready. We will be covering Black Mirror, and what else did we say that we got
Winning time.
Winning Time. The new season of Winning Time is going to be on there. So those are the first two that we're kind of going to be getting over. So y'all make sure y'all go check them out. And if you want to follow me, man, hit me up on Twitter at Scoots Bronson. I have a link to in my bio. You can find me everywhere else there.
And y'all can find me at s.foster8 on Instagram and on Twitter at 28 minutes or less pod. That's just on IG. Follow the podcast 28 minutes or less. It's on all major platforms. Last episode that is out is episode 130 on the Atlantic City Kingpin Midget Moley. You know what I'm saying? So go check that out on all major platforms, and that's all I got.
Oh, and also, man, rest in peace to Tony Bennett as well, man. Major entertainer.
Oh,
Since,
I didn't see that.
yeah, since like the 80s. I think he was 96, I believe they said. But big rest in peace to Tony Bennett. Um,
Yeah.
man, it's it sucks to see a guy like that go. He's been in a few movies doing, you know what I'm saying, guest appearances and stuff like that, playing himself, of course. Huge Vegas guy. A lot of people went to go see him in Vegas. Worked with a, a numerous amount of artists, and also, man, real quick, because I have to do this because I seen this not too long ago. But shout out to Marla Gibbs. For those who don't know who Marla Gibbs is, if you ever seen the TV show from the '70s, The Jeffersons, she was the maid. But shout out to Marla Gibbs, man. She is 92 years old, and she's still in Hollywood working. Gotta salute that, man. You know what I'm saying? She is out here doing her thing. So, you know what I'm saying? It's always great to see legends continue doing what they love to do and doing what they want to do. So salute the beautiful Miss Marley Gibbs as well. And listen, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your support. Without you, there could be no us. But until the next episode, like they say in Hollywood, that's a wrap.
Good.